Hi everyone, apologies for the slight delay. We're just waiting for our speaker to rejoin. I saw him in the room and then he left. But I wanted to start the event and I didn't want to keep you guys waiting. Thank you for joining us for another workshop in the Etherlink Hackathon, Summer of Code. I've had great fun speaking to some of you this week and learning about your goals for the hackathon. And I'm really, really excited to see what you guys all end up building. I'm going to send a quick message again to our speaker because I don't see him in the room. Nikolaj, if you are here, could you drop a message in chat? Maybe I'm just missing you. Oh, I see more people are joining. Hopefully I'm not missing your name. Please put a message in chat if I am. But otherwise, everyone, apologies for the slight delay. I'm sure we'll get started very quickly now. I hope your week is going well. GM, Goza. GM, Kevin. I've just sent another message to our speaker. Hopefully he's not having any last-minute technical difficulties. I did just jump on a call with him, so we should be all good to get going soon. GM Cosmos. Getting lots of GMs, but nothing from Nikolaj. Sorry, everyone. Hopefully we should start in a minute. It seems that his live storm is not loading. Very interesting. So I've asked him to open in incognito and hopefully he should be able to join us in a second because I unfortunately am not able to deliver the workshop on solving the $200 million liquidation leak. That is not my area of expertise, but Nikolaj hopefully is able to join us soon. I see him in the room. Let me scroll down and invite him. Hi, Nikolaj. Thanks for joining us. Apologies for the technical difficulties, everyone. Hopefully you're able to join us on stage. You may need to activate some permissions. I see my invite is still pending, Nikolaj. If you can. Yeah, I'm sending you an invite to join me up on stage, but it seems that 30 minutes after I last spoke to you, the invite's not working. This is annoying. Are you able to join from another browser, Nikolaj? I apologize again, everyone.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for Nikolaj to rejoin, a couple of announcements about some future workshops. Of course, tomorrow we have our bonus technical workshop being run by the Etherlink DevRel team. So make sure you don't miss that. And on Monday, we're actually going to introduce a workshop for Gold Sky because a lot of people have been asking some questions about how to utilize their oracles. So we want to make sure you guys have the right toolkits for that. So Monday, same time as this session, wherever you are, we're going to have the Gold Sky team come in and deliver a workshop as well. You should get the calendar invite and update email about that very soon. Hopefully. Nikolaj is back. The invite is still pending. Very strange. This is very, very odd, everyone. I'm really sorry for the technical difficulties that we're putting you through. I'm not sure what's going on here. Apologies, everyone. We are going to have to do some last minute, very strange tech solution, very hacky. Nikolaj, I have just sent you a Google Calendar invite. If you could join me on the Google Meet, I'm going to share my screen along with audio, and hopefully we might be able to stream you in via Google Meet. Hopefully you can hear me as I say this. Apologies, everyone. I'm not sure what's happening here. I'm going to mute myself in Livestorm at the moment, guys, but hopefully I'll be with you in a
Yes, quickly.
if I unmute here. Chat, I'm going to ask Mikolaj to speak. Can you please confirm whether or not you can hear him as I'm sharing my sound in Livestorm? Is that all right? Mikolaj, can you do some test 1, 2, 3s?
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me all, guys, properly? Loud and clear?
They can hear you. All good. Okay, so this is what we're going to have to do. Apologies for the very hacky solution, guys. You can see me twice as well, which is very strange, but all good. We can see your presentation, Mikolaj. Thank you for joining us and getting through the tech difficulties. And we can jump straight in because I'm sure everyone is excited to get started.
Yes, so good. It's a hackathon, so we know some how to properly solve quickly different solutions. And okay, pardon me. So yeah, once again, hello. I'm Mikołaj, and I'm working at RedStone, which is the fastest growing oracle on the market right now, securing billions of dollars in value across 100 different chains, working with the biggest protocols out there like Morpho, Venus, Compound, Camino, and so on. I could name the protocols all day, basically. And today I'm going to talk a little bit more about Oracle extractable value problem. So tackling the OEV design that works at scale in production. So to kick off and give you a sense, where are we basically right now? So the current state of OEV resembles a zero-sum game. So kind of like knife fights, actually. We say that liquidations are a knife fight. I believe you never participated in any knife fights. If you had, there are chances you wouldn't be here today, right? So there are casualties in knife fights, and this creates unnecessary friction and waste in the real life communities. And the same happens with DeFi ecosystems, and it should be avoided in general. So the principle is usually like less conflict, less casualties, and it means the better EV for everyone. So why is it a knife fight? Let me explain what's today's situation. So when there is a protocol and there is a liquidation transaction, then usually the bots are fighting to bribe the validators to get the transaction included so they can capture the liquidation. And that's basically a bidding war. Because of that, the result of that is that the protocol itself gets nothing from that. What's more, there is a liquidation bonus that the protocol gives, let's say 5-10%, depending on the asset, on the model, on the design, etc., and so on. And the gas is wasted because those bots are essentially like fighting to get their slots to liquidate the transaction. And as a consequence, they spam the whole network. So let's say it's let's say it's like a global one, like Ethereum, global computer that strives to be a global computer. Those transactions are not necessarily the thing that you like to have on your network in general. And what's more, the risk is outsourced from the protocol to, let's say, validators market. Hence, the current situation is not perfect, and DeFi protocols are missing out on billions, literally. If we add the whole market, the whole value that leaked throughout the years, we ran some calculations, and for example, on Aave, which is probably most of you know, but that's the biggest lending market in crypto. Throughout the years, the total value that leaked through the protocol, through MEV, was above $300 million. So if we add the top protocols, we would probably be in billions of dollars. So that's huge, huge money. So I want to present today a little bit better solution and a way how we handle the MEV. But maybe let's start with some fundamentals, how oracles work. So right now we have two major systems right now in oracles. One is the pull oracle, and the other one is push oracle. The pull oracle means that whenever a user is interacting with a protocol that requires an oracle update, the user himself would update the price on-chain. We tend to call it on demand because only when there is needed, we update the price, basically. You are going to update the price, or a user is going to update the price. It's a newer, fresher, and less adopted system. And the one that is more popular right now and is used by the top players on the market, like Aave, Compound, Morpho, and others, is the push oracle. And push oracle is where you take the data and you throw it in intervals on chain, basically. Usually time intervals and deviation threshold. Deviation threshold means that the maximum deviation that the on-chain price should deviate from the freshest price that is available on the market. So let's use some real-world example on that. So imagine Bitcoin USD right now trades at $1,000, and we have a deviation threshold of 1%. So now we update the price to $1,000, and if the price moves to 1,002, for example, the new update is not going to be triggered, and everyone on the market is accepting that it can be wrong by like 0.5%, and we are not going to update the price. So only when the 1% threshold is met from the previous update, the new price is going to be delivered on chain. And that's the model that majority of DeFi right now uses, maybe 85, maybe 90% of DeFi. And as I mentioned, most importantly, the top protocols, the blue chips like Aave and Compound. And majority of OEV solutions in the market right now work that once you have the price updated on chain, then you do the OEV auction or another auction if you want. And we thought about some other way to do that, which is like our approach is that the action should happen before, because then you have no delay. So the auction is happening off chain with sealed bid action. So no gas wars, no duplicate transactions that clog the network, nothing like that. So the transaction that is updating the price is already containing like the result of bidding in the action for having the priority to liquidate that specific position. And in general, OEV in our mind should be another revenue tool, and it's a crucial missing piece in DeFi. And it could help not only protocols, but also users and liquidators, which I will mention briefly later in my presentation today. And we combined some principles that, in our opinion, are crucial when you are designing any OEV solution, any system. So first of all, it has to be fast, because liquidations are a very, very sensitive part of DeFi. And if you have a delay, it can turn out that the position is underwater with too much depth, and the protocol is accruing bad depth, for example. And like the price is plummeting so much that you didn't manage to liquidate with a reasonable threshold, and no one wants to close that position anymore because it's unprofitable to do so. So the solution needs to be super fast, and it should be fairly easy to adopt. So we have battle tested codes like, for example, Aave v3 or Compound v2, and so on and so forth. So we do have a lot of systems that work at scale, and we know also that hacks happen all the time. Like probably once a half a year, we hear about another biggest hack up to date, like we had with Bybit, for example, where over $1 billion was stolen in crypto. So in order to omit them, you should probably try to adjust to what's working and incrementally improve that. So the obvious system would be so the best system would be the one that doesn't require any update from the protocol. And yeah, it shouldn't be too complicated and easy to adopt. The next thing is I see a question on the chat. Maybe I'll finish the part, and then, because the question, I think I will mention that topic later, so don't worry. I will cover that. So another principle, in our opinion, is a very fairly like nothing new. It should be safe, so it shouldn't hinder the security of the protocol and the flow of the protocol from the get-go. And it should be permissionless and open, so the liquidators should be able to join the bidding process, and it should be an open process to do so, like overall. And the last one should be cross-chain by default. So the majority of OEV right now is happening on Ethereum, but as we saw, for example, with the Robinhood announcement, for you that don't know this, they announced L2, the new L2 using Arbitrum stack like 2 weeks ago, or at FCC, so like 2 weeks ago probably. And there are other chains, EVM, non-EVM, Arbitrum, for example, Base, and this is a problem that is presenting all of them. So the solution that you create should, in our opinion, be as well cross-chain by default. And it's not like, in my opinion, optionality to have OEV. It's a really important missing piece of DeFi that should be patched in the near future. Yeah, so how the OEV works in RedStone, how our solution works, what's the better way to handle that. So RedStone detects the price update could trigger a liquidation off-chain. So imagine with this example that Bitcoin trade at $1,000 and it drops to 992, and the deviation threshold is 1%. So as I was telling you, a regular push oracle would not update the changed price, even though the position is already underwater. Why? Because Oracle without OEV is not aware that this new price would cause the liquidation. And as it's of today, any other solution thinks in the way that only the on-chain environment detects the liquidations, right? So take this example of 992 US dollars per Bitcoin. So the one that could cause the liquidation, but the regular system wouldn't do so until it goes to 990, right? So RedStone detects the price off-chain, usually on CEXs like Binance and OKX, because that's where the most of the volume comes from. And they are usually the quickest one to have this kind of price discovery for liquid assets. Then we have an action that runs off-chain with Fastlane. Fastlane, if you don't know, is our partner, very good partner of ours, which is a specialist in MEV that have been very long within the Polygon ecosystem. Now they are also creating some DeFi on Monad, and they created a product called Atlas that allows for this atomic auction to happen. And the Atlas product gives you a list of bids and liquidators that want to take part in the bidding process. So the liquidators are bidding for the priority pass and access to liquidate that particular this only position to make money on this. And then on-chain RedStone Relayer, which is our tech that throws data on-chain, would deliver the price update together within the same transaction with lists of bids that Atlas gave us. And Atlas executes that using try-catch loop to proceed bids in order to make the liquidation happen faster. What's more is that the fast lane tracks each bidder's reliability, like paying bids, low reverts, and other stuff that is important for us. And when the auction closes, Fastlane selects top 5 bids from 2 groups. We have 2 groups of bidders. One is high rep, like people that used to bid before and were reliable, and 5 people from like newcomers that want to take part with the bidding process. And Atlas sends in total 10 bids to us. Like they pick the 10 top bids, then segregates that by size and executes them sequentially through the try and catch loop. This ensures that fresh liquidators can compete with like old one and reliable one, and make sure that fallbacks are super rare in that scenario. Also, interesting fact is that solvers, the bidders, might bid the right to execute the liquidations, even if they are not sure it will happen. So they can like gamble on that to make more money. And now the kicker, I believe this is the most important slide in my presentation today, and please watch out for this. The whole process takes maximum 300 milliseconds. And to give you like a comparison, in 1 second, we have 1000 milliseconds, right? So it's 0.3 of a second. So for our man brain, I think it's already quite impossible to comprehend that speed. I think human eye have like 300 frames per second, like can detect 300 frames per second. So it's extremely fast. And for majority of the ecosystems for blockchains, this is faster than the block time itself. What's that? Because we are recently obsessed about speed. We created recently also RedStone Bolt, which is the fastest oracle on the market for mega ETH chain that updates prices on chain up to every 2.4 milliseconds over there. So that's quite also super fast. And yeah, for majority of networks, it's faster than the block time itself. And also important thing is that if there are no valid bids, nobody wanted to bid that or whatever reason, the system gracefully falls back to a regular price update using push oracles. So imagine there are no bids were worthy in the liquidations, and after the 0.3 seconds, regular update would happen on chain. So let's assume with the example I gave you before, the $992 per Bitcoin, that for example, let's say the liquidation that you would cost would be around $1, and nobody wanted to bid that, so the price would drop to 990, and then a regular price update would happen on chain. So even if there are no valid bids, the position is going to be liquidated. And basically, one more thing is that a byproduct of this design is that you have more accurate data on chain, because you basically found a new person who is willing to pay the gas to update the transaction on chain. So the data is even more accurate, because one of the biggest problems right now of push oracles, which is, as I said, the most popular system is who pays the gas, right? Because it's public. I mean, once it's on chain, everyone can use that. So we found a new player I mean, Liquidator, that is incentivized to update data on chain. And the moment there is a profitable liquidation to happen, he updates the price. And if there is no one, nothing happens, like there is no like normal liquidation going. And the system I'm describing here has already gone through Venus protocol, which is top 4 lending protocol overall in DeFi and the biggest one on BNB chain. We've run it for like 30 days to observe the results, and we recaptured directly for the protocol $6,000. We have in total liquidation volume 165,000 and 90 liquidations in total. And look at this, 0 downtime. So because the auction itself were happening much faster than the block time. So there was literally 0 downtime, which is super cool basically. And the product itself, the OEV itself, was almost invisible for the lending protocol and the users. I mean, the fact that it's actually implemented, which is very important in designing such a system. And literally a week or two ago, if you go to Venus forum, they voted in favor of enabling RedStone OEV on every market on Unichain. And if it gets proper numbers, we are going to roll it out on other markets on Venus and other chain as well. And we are talking as well with other serious lending markets, serious players of lending markets right now. And here's another super important part of the slides. So key takeaways from the Venus OEV testing. So the system itself works out of the box. No code changes for Venus. Venus did almost 0 work. Naturally, they had to go through the design to make sure it's safe, but by the workload was on us on RedStone, and liquidators didn't need to change their infrastructure because RedStone handled everything, as well as sequencer, execution fallbacks, and mechanism, everything. And it was real value captured safely and predictably. So the money that we got over here can be redistributed to Venus at once. It can go, for example, to as incentives for borrowers, because usually this is what lending protocols would like to incentivize. Or it's going to the treasury as well sometimes, or other activity they would like. So we redistributed the flow, the money that was leaking out of the system, and integration is that simple. The heavy work is on us on RedStone. The only thing you have to do is basically to use our price feeds on your protocol or lending market or whatever, and give us a heads up that we should turn on the OEV on a particular feed or particular network or whatever, whatever you prefer. And we handle all the legwork, the work, everything. So who wins and why? And that's, I believe, answers the question that we got on the chat. So starting with the protocols itself, because they have better liquidations. As I told you, they don't have to wait for this deviation threshold. We sometimes tell protocols even, hey, we created the push oracle with 0 deviation threshold. It's simplistic because it doesn't mean that we always update with 0% threshold. But from the perspective of a lending or a DeFi protocol, this is important because it helps to liquidate as fast as it possible the moment it's present on chain, because the liquidation itself happened within the same transaction. So yeah, and the next winner are users, because it's less slippage and fewer surprises with the liquidations. And usually when we talk with those protocols, they perceive it as a new stream of value, but many of them don't want to take it to the treasury, but incentivize it, for example, make it more competitive and increase the effectiveness and attractiveness of borrowing or lending or any other activity in the stream that is happening. And last part, the liquidators themselves are also happier because they don't have to go into the MEV bidding wars. Because, for example, on Ethereum, it's money time, like some deals between bigger organizations, larger players that have majority of MEV infrastructure on a given network, and that means it's pretty hard. But over here, it's like open access, no whitelist, no collocation. It's just like a bidding process. So process of understanding what's the highest amount of money I'm willing to pay to still make money out of getting the priority to liquidate that specific position. All right. So as I mentioned, it's already available on BNB chain. And as we speak, we are now rolling it out. I mean, our devs are rolling that out on Unichain. We have already signed deals on HyperEVM, so the super popular chain by Hyperliquid, on Base, on a couple of more that I cannot reveal yet, but many of them perceive it as new system that increases the efficiency of the market. Yeah, and our system is made such it's super compatible with EVM chains especially. So like our rollout would take between 2 days and maybe 2 weeks at most, because it also depends how the chain works itself. And the liquidator bots also are open source, so anyone can join. And other interesting positive externality is that RedStone right now works with many RWA protocols companies, like for example Securitize. We are the official providers of BlackRock, Beetle, Apollo, Acred, Vanek, Vbill, so the top tokenized funds, and many other tokenized products as well. And for them, one of the biggest problems is the liquidity on chain, because those tokenized products often don't have that much on-chain liquidity, because only whitelisted users can utilize that products on-chain. So it's kind of complicated. But with our solution, despite they don't have that much liquidity, it's still efficient. And for example, right now we are talking with Euler about making the capital efficiency higher. So you don't need to have that much capital. So basically, you need less capital for liquidation, because it's more predictable. You don't have to fight with other in the old school gas wars with other MEV bots. So we have better understanding what's going to happen, what's going to be the outcome, It's getting more probabilistic and better for everyone, as I mentioned in the previous slides of the presentation. And that's all from my side. I saw just another comment, like question, whether it's free, and it depends whether we are already working with the protocol that wants to utilize the OEV or not, but the price feeds are of course free because it's on chain, so anyone can like use them in their protocols. And usually Oracle infrastructure takes a small cut from the value that they bring to the lending markets, for example. So from the $6,000 that we provided to Venus throughout a month on one market, we probably would take a small cut, some percentage out of that. Are there any questions, Rebecca, on the OG presentation link?
Can you confirm, can you hear me with this sound on? Otherwise, I'll turn this sound on. Okay. Hopefully there isn't a double echo right now because I'm unmuted on both Livestorm and Google Meet. We haven't had any other questions aside from the two that I posted. Emmanuel's just posted the link that I think is to the feed for Etherlink, which should be useful for others who want to go and have a look after the workshop.
Exactly.
We'll wait for a moment and see if we have any last minute questions, but otherwise, thank you very much, Mikolaj. I feel like I should be looking over there at you, but thank you very much, Mikolaj, for coming and delivering this workshop. And I apologize once again to everyone for the technical difficulties that we had, but luckily we've managed to get you on stage and we've managed to get your presentation through. So thank you very much. The recording will be available tomorrow for anyone who wants to rewatch it. With some of the technical difficulties cut out. But otherwise, it doesn't look like anyone is typing. So I think, oh, Cosmos is typing. Wait for a second. A few announcements. Tomorrow we have another workshop run by the DevRel team with Etherlink. So you don't want to miss that one. It should give you a guide to everything you need to know to get started. And on Monday, we have another workshop with the Gold Sky team. So please make sure if you're able to come and attend those, do come live. Cosmos has asked, I mean, Mikolaj, I know you can see now because I just saw you in chat, but for the recording, Cosmos has asked what's the simplest way that they can integrate because they're in kind of ideation and they're thinking about some project ideas. What are some interesting integrations you've seen with RedStone?
Interesting use cases or the simplest way to integrate?
Well, how about both?
Okay, so I'm typing, pasting the link to our docs, which help you probably understand how to integrate us the easiest way. And if you have any like more sophisticated questions related to integration, please visit our Discord. There are some people daily, like all the time, some devs as well, that would probably contact you with me or some other team members and help you explain what's the issue and help you. And regarding the project ideas, basically oracles provide data on like all kinds of data. So we could even provide the weather data or your shoe size data, everything that you need. So you could even come up with some funny stuff, and we could probably also provide that data, because for now most of the data is used for DeFi and it's financial data, so like prices of different tokens and cryptocurrencies. But potentially we could like provide everything you need. So since it's a hackathon, probably some funny stuff as well is appreciated. Not only building another Robinhood app.
the opportunities are endless. Manav has asked, we have on-chain data from RedStone and we query it using AI. Can they do that with, okay, let me rephrase. Can you take on-chain data from RedStone and query it using AI and filtration to create a kind of chatbot?
It is probably possible. I'm not exactly, because the AI itself wouldn't be on-chain, right? So I'm not 100% sure how that would work, but it's probably doable. It's very like flexible. Oracles are very flexible and could query and provide a lot of things.
Sorry, just unmuting myself on both chats again. Okay, cool. Hopefully, Manav, that helps you in your ideation. I saw someone else typing, but they've stopped now. So hopefully that's all our questions, because we are coming to the end of our session now. Thank you everyone for joining us, and I hope you found this useful. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys utilize RedStone oracles for. I hope, yeah, we're just getting some thank yous in chat. So yeah, thank you very much, Mikolaj, for coming and giving this talk. Amazing to have you. And everyone, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you all very soon. Bye all.
So thank you. Have a nice day.